Hello everybody. So I was recently watching some videos about the worst ships in World of Warships or something to that effect, and I wanted to make something similar but with a twist. Rather than listing the statistically worst ships in the game, I'm going to go over ships that I have personally struggled with throughout my nearly 4 years of playing Warships. This is an entirely subjective list and will feature some ships that are considered by the community at large to be good. And indeed my stats like damage and personal rating in some of these ships are good. But I still couldn't buy a win, no matter how hard I tried. These 5 ships were just snake bit. I have no other explanation. For Exhibit A, we have the Caledon. Now, I have some shitty stats in a lot of low-tier ships, like the Wix, Tenryu, Kawachi, and so on, but I played all of those things way back in the early days of the game when I was just getting into random battles. Of course I was going to be horrible. But the British light cruisers came out over a year after the beta, and I had obviously improved by then, or so I like to think. The Caledon, though, was my first experience inexplicably struggling to win with a ship. I was above average in damage and kills, but somehow only managed to win 3 of 10 games. How is that possible? Especially considering that I had no problem with any of the other British light cruisers, including the Emerald. The Emerald is much better than everybody says, for the record. I want to rebuy the thing, go out and club the crap out of a lobby, then upload it just for the hell of it. It'd be hilarious. But anyway, I have no clue why the Caledon didn't work for me. And funnily enough, when I posted that I was making this video, a couple of my clanmates were like, "Don't shit talk the Caledon, that thing's good." Well, maybe for you, but not for me. Next up is the Ognavoy, though not the Tier 8 version that we have in-game now. I'm talking about the old Tier 6. So I finished up with the Gnevny, and it's okay, I guess. I was excited for the Ognavoy because it had the twin turret 130mm guns. These were a definite upgrade over the slow traverse single mounts on the Gnevny, though of course the torps were still horrible. So I ended up playing 18 games in the Tier 6. I only won 5. The thing was, it just had too little firepower. The main battery was okay, but it either needed to be much better or complemented by decent torpedoes in order to match up with destroyers like Farragut. I expected that playing the thing might be a chore, but I certainly didn't expect to crash and burn like that. Thankfully, the Russian DD line split saved me. I got the new Tier 8 Ognavoy for free and, to my surprise, did well with it. Probably because it was now a decent torp boat with the new 10km range quintuple mounts and improved concealment thanks to the Slot 5 upgrade. Though speaking of torpedo boats, we have the Shiratsuyu. This one was probably the most surprising of the ships on this list, since I am very good with Japanese destroyers. I have completed both lines and put up great numbers doing so. I had one of my winningest grinds ever in this game with the Akatsuki. I feature the Kagero, Yugumo, and Shimikaze on this channel, and you bet as soon as I get an insane Haragumo game, it's going up here too. So, a torp boat like Shiratsuyu should have been a perfect fit. But it wasn't, and I don't have a clue why. Unlike the Ognavoy, there was no line split to save me from the grind, so I had to play 42 games, and won only 17. It got to the point where I would only play this thing in divisions, so my clanmates could carry my unlucky ass. My only guess for the reason I struggled with the Shiratsuyu is that I had selected captain skills that were intended to make the Akizuki better. Now, while that might have contributed a little, it couldn't possibly be the only reason. I'm doing that same thing right now with the Udaloy. I'm running a captain that's built for the Grozavoy, and I'm still doing fine. I just don't have a clue with this one. Though, I do have a clue about the next ship. At Tier 8 is the Mogami. Mogami is a perfect example of a ship where I have great stats in every category except for win rate. I played 80 games in this thing, only won 37. Now, that's only a couple games below 50%, certainly better than the other ships on this list. But unlike the other ships on this list, I know why I'm below 50%. An unrelenting combination of bad matchmaking and potato teams. I cannot tell you how many times I topped the losing team's leaderboard while bottom tiered in this thing. It's a problem that afflicts all tier 8 cruisers, really. But I still always seem to win more than I lose with every other one of them, except for the Mogami. However, it should be said that I at least had more fun playing the Mogami, especially with the IFHE 155s. I say that while using the 203s. But I had more fun with the Mogami than I did with ships like the Old New Orleans or the Cleveland or the Charles Martel. Though, I guess winning is the price of fun. That's my only conclusion here. Lastly, at Tier 9, and the only premium ship on this list, is the Kronstadt. I've played 10 games thus far with this thing, only won 4. As for why, I can put the blame on inexperience with the high-tier supercruisers. Kronstadt was the first one that I got my hands on, and I needed to learn how to make the most of these types of ships. But that still doesn't completely explain starting out 2 and 6. Inexperience coupled with bad luck is my justification, especially considering my later performance with Stalingrad, though I don't think it's possible to suck in Stalingrad. There's also Alaska, which I haven't used a whole lot thus far, but have at least gotten off on a better foot with by comparison to Kronstadt. But this unlucky start is not the end of the world. I started off just as bad with the Missouri, and have since gotten that thing up to 50%. So I can definitely see myself doing that with Kronstadt. How long that will end up taking remains to be seen. So, those are my 5 unlucky ships, all of which I managed to win with while getting footage. Ironic. Anyway, I'm curious about other people's surprising horror stories with ships in this game. Though, maybe, as a companion video to this, I can make something like terrible ships I did well with. Though, that would just be a bunch of glass cannon cruisers. And the Colorado. Not nearly as interesting. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you all later.